Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on a framework that's basically giving people superpowers at work. We're talking about turning regular professionals into top-tier problem solvers. Let's dive right in.
So let me just ask you this straight up. When something goes wrong on the job, a process is taking forever, a customer is not happy, costs are creeping up, what's your move? Do you have a solid game plan, or is it more like organized chaos? It's a really important question because honestly, how we deal with problems pretty much defines our success.
And look, the stakes are incredibly high right now. This quote here, it just hits the nail on the head. In the business world today, just being good isn't going to cut it anymore. You need a serious, rock-solid set of skills to really get ahead and stay there.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with a big challenge we're all facing at work. Then, I'll introduce you to this cool thing called Lean Six Sigma and its powerhouse core, the DMAIC cycle. After that, we'll peek inside the new toolkit you get and then wrap up with the big one, the career payoff. Okay, let's jump into Section 1, that modern workplace challenge. Here's the deal. Having great problem-solving skills isn't just a nice-to-have on your resume anymore. Nope, it's an absolute must-have for anyone who seriously wants to make an impact.
The real goal here is to stop guessing, to stop just putting out fires all day. What we need is a clear, structured method, a reliable system that we can throw at any business problem and get real, measurable results every single time. And that's exactly where Lean Six Sigma steps in.
And that brings us to Lean Six Sigma. Now, I know, the name might sound a little intimidating, maybe a bit too corporate, but I promise you, at its heart, it's really just a powerful mix of two super smart ideas. Let's break them down.
Okay, so check this out. On one side, you've got lean. Lean is all about speed and efficiency. Think of it like trimming all the fat from a process, getting rid of wasted time, wasted steps, anything that doesn't add value. Then on the other side, you've got Six Sigma. And Six Sigma is completely obsessed with quality. It's all about crushing defects and errors until your process is almost perfect, super reliable.
So what happens when you smash those two ideas together? You get this. Lean Six Sigma. It grabs the speed from Lean and the quality from Six Sigma and fuses them into one single, powerful, team-based system. It's all about systematically making things better, faster, and way more reliable.
So you're probably wondering, how do you actually do this stuff? Well, the engine that drives all of Lean Six Sigma is a simple 5-step cycle. It's called DMAIC. And you can just think of it as your personal, step-by-step roadmap for solving pretty much any problem you can think of. It's a really logical flow, so let's walk through it. First, you define the problem with crystal clarity. Let's say customer complaints about late deliveries are up 20%. Simple. Then you measure. You get the real data on the current process, no more assumptions. You track everything. Next, you analyze all that data to find the real root cause. Aha! Turns out there's a huge bottleneck at the packaging station. So now that you know the cause, you improve the process. Maybe you add another packaging station. Easy. And finally, you control it. You put things in place to make sure the fix sticks and the problem doesn't come creeping back.
And the most important thing to get here is that this is a cycle. It's not a one-and-done fix. DMAIC helps build a culture where everyone is always on the lookout for ways to make things a little bit better, a little bit smoother. It's a formula for continuous success.
Now, what makes DMAIC so awesome isn't just the 5 steps. It's the toolbox full of practical tools that you get to use along the way. We're talking about real, hands-on stuff, not just theory.
Getting a Yellow Belt certification basically hands you this incredible toolkit. For example, there's the fishbone diagram. It helps your team brainstorm every possible cause of a problem so nothing gets overlooked. Then you've got one of my favorites, the 5 whys. It sounds almost too simple, but it is so powerful. You just keep asking why 5 times to dig down to the real root of an issue. The delivery was late. Why? Because it left the warehouse late. Okay, but why? See? These are real tools you can use tomorrow to start making a difference.
All right, so we've got the framework, we've got the tools, but let's get to the part that really matters, the ultimate payoff. Why is this so important for your career? This is where it gets really good.
First off, it's all about the bottom line. When you start getting rid of waste and cutting down on errors, you are literally saving your company money. You're not just an employee anymore. You're an asset who is actively creating value. That gets you noticed.
Second, making things efficient isn't just about cash, it's about time. Your time, your team's time. When you streamline those clunky processes, you get back all those hours that used to just disappear into thin air. And that's time you can now use for the cool stuff, for innovation.
And think about this. What happens when you actually empower people to fix the things that frustrate them every single day? Their motivation just goes through the roof. Giving your team the power to improve their own work, that is a game changer for morale.
Oh, and this one is huge. When your workday is less chaotic, more efficient, and way less frustrating, that feeling doesn't just stay at the office. A smoother day at work leads directly to a better work-life balance for you and everyone on your team.
So, when you add all of these benefits up, the result is pretty clear. You become that person, the one who actually knows how to fix things, the go-to problem solver, the one management relies on to make the right call. You, my friend, become absolutely invaluable.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. With a clear, structured approach like this and a whole new toolkit in your back pocket, what's the very first problem at your job that you'd go after? Because the cool part is, now you know exactly where to begin.